And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny Ford Rembert along with you. Yucky morning this morning. It's 54 degrees, misty rain, lots of fog around. Typical North Carolina winter weather. We're in the last week of February.
So technically, all right, not calendar-wise, but spring actually starts March the 1st. But calendar, it's March 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I was reading something the other day just talking about the seasons, and that was, it's like it starts on the 1st of each month. Mm-hmm. But yet our calendars, it's official on that day.
Because of the sun alignment.
Yeah, right. And
solstice.
No, you're right. And the crazy thing
I have been out of math and science way too long.
Yeah, no, you're right. The crazy thing is June 1st, it is not spring. Mm-hmm. Even though it says it is. Because it's hotter than 7.
It's hot on a fat man, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's just hot.
But it's really, I guess it's just really muggy. I don't like the mugginess. That's the biggest thing.
You and me, either one.
I don't deal well with that. Mikey, good morning. Richie, good morning. Glad to have you guys with us. Mikey's opening a new venture just down from you. Mikey Lell, one of my students from both West Lincoln and Bunker Hill. He moved when he was in high school,
right.
And I'm helping him do some things with promotion. And he's opening up a car wash in the Big Bay down there on the corner below your house.
Oh, cool.
And it will be hand washed, but it'll be like Auto Bell. You can drive through, you can buy packages, you can all those kind of things. And he's reached out to some businesses to see if he can get some regular stuff.
Sure.
And
good deal.
They'll do pickups and deliveries and those kind of things. And I think he's still shooting for a March 1st opening, if I'm not mistaken. I got to get him some shirts. And
so you drive through, you just drop it off like you do it Auto Bell?
However you want to do it. They got multiple ways that you can do it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you drop it off.
He'll have more available.
I don't know if you drop it off and go eat at 3 Romano's and then come back and get your car.
That'd be okay, too. Yeah, that'd be okay. Andrew, good morning. Stephen, good morning. Glad to have you guys.
Not that I'm always thinking about something to eat.
I am.
Or that I see you there 5 days a week.
Not 5, but I am there.
6.
I am
right.
there a couple of
6.
days. I'm there a couple days.
With your
a
lovely
week.
daughters.
I can't help it, Who
are just awesome.
My youngest, I don't know if she's part Hispanic. I don't know what it is, but she would eat Mexican every day.
Dude,
I had some Mexican lunch yesterday. And then I wound up, she wanted tacos, so I fixed tacos last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Do it, senor.
There's a lot of questions inside the NFL. I still believe Aaron Rodgers is not with the Packers next year.
Yep.
I'm still a believer of that. But this came out yesterday that when Aaron Rodgers returned to the Green Bay Packers last July, when he had his off-season meltdown or whatever you want to call it, both sides made it easier to separate this offseason based on adjustments to his contract.
Right.
However, according to Brian Gernst, I can't even pronounce that, general manager of the Packers, said he never promised Rodgers he would trade him after the 21 season. Mm-hmm. Now, Aaron's just got one more year left on that contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
They just made it easier, like you were talking about. If he didn't want to separate, and I still don't. He may be the way he is, and all that handles the way he handles it. But the more that I think about this, and the more that I've got time to reflect on it, the more I think he was right. People handle things differently the way they see. Mm-hmm. But with him being I know he's not the head coach, but let's just throw it out there. He's in charge of the franchise. He makes every player around him better. He says, I don't have any wide receivers. Get me wide. Then all of a sudden he's got, 2 guys that are basically all pros. Not voted in, but basically that, right? And he's got a great running back, and his line's good, and his defense is – come on.
Now, I haven't looked at the stat lines and stuff, but according to what I've heard when people talk about, except he's very picky in who he throws to, and if you drop 1 or 2, he just don't go back to you.
Well, he sets a standard, and then he wants you to be better living up to it. He makes the people better around him by setting the bar high instead of telling them, hey, that's okay, get the next one. It's not okay. Catch the ball.
I understand.
It's not okay. Catch the ball. I just think he and LaFleur work really well together, and it's just – I enjoyed watching that this year because there was a lot of process and not a lot of reactionary. Oh my God, why are we doing this? I mean, they were on the same page. When the play would come in, you didn't see him go, oh my God. He'd be like, and then he would call the play. I thought it was good.
So I look at the Packers the same way, and we had Josh Carney, who covers the Steelers, and I said the same thing to him. The only thing that bothers me about Mike Tomlin and the Steelers is they've been steady, but they can't extend. I look at the Packers the same way. You're supposedly got the best quarterback in the league, and you have, but yet they can't go deep.
Well, this is the thing. Whenever you don't win championships, the first thing you fall back on is, well, wow, at least we've won this many games this many years. That is an excuse for the lack of achievement.
That's correct.
Okay?
That's correct.
And so that's the problem I have. Well, the Steelers are steady. They've only had 3 head coaches in 542 years. Okay. So why can you not have both?
Oh, I agree. I mean, that's my point.
No, I'm not fussing at you.
No, that's my point. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm on board with you 100%. It again, this is what they choose to do for a living. So if you choose to do it, then the book is wide open for criticism. That's one thing I can't stand, and I ranted about a little bit on Tuesday, is people talking about, well, I don't do this for money, but then they complain about how much money they don't make. I don't want to hear that crap. Stuff. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So, it is what it is.
Well, here's the thing, Andrew. That's the same point we were making, Andrew. He said if Rodgers and Adams both return, Green Bay has as good a chance as anyone. They have for the last 2 years.
And theoretically, like 7 of the last 10, maybe 11, has kind of, they've been there, just not quite all the way there, except maybe 1 or 2, so.
I just, not an Aaron Rodgers fan. Very respectful of what he's accomplished. There's 2 different things there.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to like somebody, but you can admit their greatness.
Yeah.
Or I can.
Right.
So when I look at it, I'm trying to figure out, as with Mike Tomlin, and I've asked you this question, if you were a franchise and you could win a Super Bowl every 10 years and be competitive, be above 500, and occasionally make it, but you don't win it, or you make it to the conference championship game, is that acceptable?
Not to me, and I'm going to tell you why. And everybody's different. You ask me that, we can throw it out in third person. Other people can have their own. Okay, this is the thing about it. When you're rebuilding something, which the Steelers have not done, they've just maintained. They've not really rebuilt even since Cowher. Since Cowher took over, that's when they rebuilt. When you do that and you don't achieve the ultimate goal, or at least knocking on it like so close each year, then something is broken in the process. Now, is it the head coach? Probably not. There's something broken in the process between the general manager, whether he's director or not of player personnel, the head coach, assistant coaches, all the way down through the draft picks, free agency, all of this. Yes, there are caps. There's only certain people they can have. You can't go out and just buy everybody. I get it. But if you focus more on the development of what you bring in, whether it be through free agency or drafting, and you try to get that long-term commitment in a short-term thinking world, and you surround yourself, with quality people, all right, and you don't bypass people because of this, that, or the other that you hire, you hire the very best, then you tend not to have that issue. And I cannot, if I was an owner, I would look into the process, and I don't care about the things that don't matter as far as a program being successful, right? I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about, if I'm an NFL coach, I don't want 16 head coaches on my team. I'd love to have 3 or 4 former head coaches to have that collaboration, have that experience, but I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of Chuck Knowles and Tom Landry's.
I agree.
Okay, I need some people to do the work and not worry about why I want him to do it. Just go do it. And I think that, in the society of feelings, a lot of times we get caught up in things that I'm trying to dance around this that really don't matter. Mm-hmm. It's either you get it done or you don't, and it's all about the process. And if you're a one and done, or you just just try to get this guy in for a year to win it, I don't think that's any good. Mm-hmm. I think it's very, very unfair to your fan base that you don't give your best effort. And yes, there's years you're going to have to rebuild. We know that. Look at New England 2 seasons ago. Belichick knew he's going to have to rebuild. He took it on the chin. Went out and got Cam Newton. Did whatever he needed to do to survive. And then look at him this year. You better watch out for them. Buddy.
But the reason that worked is because they have a plan. They had a plan.
They got 47 Super Bowls.
But here's the other side. Are you saying Green Bay don't have a plan? They've put the right
correct.
people
that's
in the
correct.
place.
That's
you don't
correct.
Think they
no,
put the right
I
people?
do not.
Okay.
I think the process is broken, and I think that they have one of the greatest field generals ever in any sport to put the uniform on of any sport that has kept them within the realm. Basically, without getting into history too much, they've got a patent, and it's just a matter of not what they're going to do with him. When now that he has all the power, what happened to Patton?
let me give you another scenario, okay, because this is the way I look at Aaron Rodgers. I look at Aaron Rodgers the same way I'd look at LeBron. LeBron's uncoachable. LeBron knows everything because if it's not working, he wants to fire the coach, and he wants to tell you what players he wants to bring in. And then he brings them in, and they don't work, and it's still somebody else's
Aaron
fault.
Didn't do that. They didn't bring the players in he wanted.
I understand that. But I'm just saying I think there's some ownership that he doesn't take, some responsibility of not being completely on board with whatever the process is.
You can look at it that way. I tend to – and that's a good point. I tend to look at it the other way and say that he's almost taken too much ownership because of how far he's gone with what he said, and he wants to be so demanding about who he gets in. And so far, the other way hasn't worked. If they would do it, I mean, why would you draft Jordan Love? Why?
Well, is it the same reason they drafted Mason Rudolph because they kept thinking he's going to leave?
Well,
I mean, Ben kept every year Ben would want to retire.
Why would you do that?
Oh, I know.
And again, this is armchair quarterback, and people will say, well, yeah, but he's a great talent and all this. Let me tell you something. Let me give you an inside secret. You ready? Mm-hmm. 10 years of practicing really hard and focusing on your commitment to a skill will overtake athleticism, 10 years of it, will overtake athleticism 99% of the time.
I can believe that.
All right? So that's why when kids are really good athletes, when they're born with it, when they're young, and you got these kids that work really hard.
The coachable kids.
All of a sudden, and normally the 10-year period's when they all stop playing. But we're talking about pro football. So, that athletic thing and all this, that's great, but these are professionals. Do we really envy them? No, they work 12 hours a day on their body. They don't eat the foods that we like to eat. They sacrifice family time to be the greatest they can be. All right, so, when you really think about it, do you really want to be a professional athlete? Because you don't get to do anything you want to do except focus on your job, okay, whatever. In 20 years of doing that, let's say a kid's 4 or 5 years old and they play to age 25 and they train, they can be the master of the universe at whatever it is. And when this has been proven not only in athletics but in chess, I say checkers, any other kind
commitment. It's a commitment to the skill.
That's my point. So what and if you look at the guys that are most successful and people that are most successful, like the Pat Summits, the late Pat Summit, Kay Yao, who was playing pickup basketball with my dad, when they were kids, late Kay Yao at NC State, she practiced her profession her whole life when, was actually a very good softball player too. But anyway, the point is, there's so much about how good is this player instead of, this player trains, and that's why this player is so good. That's why Brady is the master, and the athleticism is.
But I'm gonna go back. I'll take a break in just a second, but I want to go back, and I want to take what you just said about Brady.
Yep.
Okay, and then I want to go back and draw that comparison. Andrew didn't like my comparison. He said, I do like Rodgers. I think you see his transparency of what he can get done, but some around him can't. He wants that fixed immediately and has no problem vocalizing. Okay. Richie said if you really thought Ben was going to retire, they would have drafted someone or went free agency better than Rudolph.
Okay, so and to Richie's point, Rudolph graded really, really high on many things. Mm-hmm. I understand what Richie's saying, and I don't disagree with that, but I think that's where – because he had the similarities of Ben, with the exception of those other intangibles. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So
let me take a break, and I'm going to come back. I want to dig a little deeper into your Brady comment because I agree with it. I agree with it. We'll be back in a minute. A little deeper.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. And welcome back. Let me run down Ford had to step out for just a moment. Let me run down playoff action in high school basketball. That is still going on. And Lincoln Charter will take on T.W. Andrews at home tonight. It'll be Newton Conover taking on Wheatmore at home. It will be East Lincoln taking on West Rowan. That one will be at East Lincoln. This is women's basketball now. Let's see. Lake Norman, the other local team around here, they'll be taking on Marvin Ridge. In the 1A men's eliminated around here. We're eliminated there. 2A, Lincoln Charter will be back in action. Now, somehow I missed who they're playing. In the 3A action, it'll be Hickory taking on North Iredell. It will be North Lincoln traveling to Freedom. East Lincoln will travel to Inca, and St. Stephen's will travel to Franklin. Everybody's going west, and as I went down that list, you kept going further west, from Freedom to Inca to Franklin. And then Mooresville is still in the 4A, and they travel to Weddington. So that's the playoff action. And then you win tonight, you continue on into Saturday. That'll be the next round that comes up. All right, I'm going to go back to your comments.
All right.
And I'll tell you where I'm coming from with this. Morning, right. Sissy Lee. Andrew said Walkertown. What about Walkertown? Lincoln Charter and Walkertown? Is that what you're telling me, Andrew?
Yeah, Walkertown beat Maiden.
Okay. I don't have the full bracket from. I just made a list.
And those two play Lincoln Charter. Is that right? I mean, isn't that what you said?
Lincoln Charter and Walkertown.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Andy Royals, good morning. ACC men's tourney could be a real dogfight. It could, but it's just not going to be very good. They're just not any stellar teams in the ACC this year. Andrew said, would the Patriots have been as successful with Rodgers as they were with Brady? Absolutely not. That's my point. That's where I'm going with this. Tom Brady, for all that he did, now that he's out, Tom Brady bit the bullet, took it for the team. I don't think he always agreed or wanted to do what Bill wanted to do, but he felt like that was what he was supposed to do.
And it worked.
And it worked.
And it worked.
And so, I guess part of me wants to say, all right, give Aaron everything he wants. And if he don't win a Super Bowl, you can never go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, then you want to get
put
him
it put it on the line, because that just goes to show you what you can do if you believe, to borrow a phrase from a friend of mine, if you believe in the process.
Right.
And apparently Tom Brady did.
Absolutely.
So he's proof, 6 in New England?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 8 total.
So, there you go. Mark said, for Fort Rembert, what do you think about the Wolfpack freshman power hitting sensation Tommy White?
Yeah, he came out out of high school, obviously, with high accolades, and NC State's good thing they got him for 3 years, because he can't go anywhere unless he were to transfer to a junior college next year. So he's and Coach Avent does a pretty good job with guys that can hit the ball, and developing them. And Coach Avent does such a good job of finding the right fit, for that player to come in and be successful. I've been following him for over 20 years, and longer than that when he's an assistant coach, but that kid is really, really good. He's got some he can swing it. Mm-hmm. He can swing it.
Andrew said, as a question, process coaches been a little better in New England?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what really shows you that the process is better in New England. Mm-hmm. When you watch the coaches that have come out of that tree, they've not done as well because they're not running the same process. They were part of the process, and they're trying to either duplicate it or create their own.
Well, the one thing Belichick didn't have to worry about that the coaches that get head coaching jobs, and this is my opinion, that he didn't have to worry about as much as the guys that are coming off his staff going to be head coaches. They feel like they've got to win right away. And if you'll notice, Vrabel didn't feel that way, mm-hmm. or it appears that he did not. It was more important for him to make things about the team, and about what they were doing. I'm talking about Vrabel, the things that he learned from Belichick. Caleb, had told me when he come back a couple times during the fall, he had told me that that Coach Vrabel was like, hey, everything's about the team. When you get interviewed, this is right after you got drafted. Make sure that, and of course there was a phone call too that I think that a lot of people may have heard or whatever. That he was when he was talking to him. But my point is not just Caleb, but the other kids. Or I say kids, the other players on the team. That's what's most important. And I think that is a direct reflection of Belichick's attitude and sentiment, about things, right? Where the other guys that are going other places that are not very good places, that don't have ownership that understands that, feel a little more pressed and they can't implement all the things they don't have time to do. Maybe they feel like, okay? So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, like I say, I just, when I look and I think about the things and that type of thing, I just think there should have been more achievement in Green Bay than there were if Aaron Rodgers is this great quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played for the same franchise.
Yeah. And done,
17 years, right? This will be his 18th year, going into his 18th year?
Yeah, and actually played, I think, 14 or 15 of that. Like, didn't he wait like 3 years?
3
kinda
years,
like,
yeah.
Kind of like
But-
Steve Young.
But one Super Bowl?
I'm not putting that on him. I'm just not. After having time, initially I did, but after having time to look back.
Oh, no, don't misunderstand me. I'm not putting it on him. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm not so sure that he was convinced that anybody else could do what needed to be done to win a Super Bowl. I'm not sure that he bought in to what was there.
Well, no, and that's completely possible. And I'll tell you, he looks sharper today than he did against the Steelers in the Super Bowl when they beat the Steelers. He was very good in that Super Bowl. He looks sharper today. Everything is pinpoint. It's incredible how accurate he is throwing off of his back foot. He's mastered that where he can, give a little bit of leverage, cock that one leg in there and throw it. It's just he's got complete control and mastery of what he's doing. And, again, that's because he's been in the league more than 10 years, and he's become, it's kind of like Brady's into master. And the problem is that special teams let him down in the playoffs, okay? And it takes a combined complete effort. Once you get playoff football, it don't matter what level you're on, you cannot make the even the smallest mistakes because the other team's good enough to cash in on it. I don't care what level it is. Saw it this year.
Nope.
All levels,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm completely okay with that. I guess what I'm saying is I just don't see – I'm sure if they were winning Super Bowls, he would be out front. I'm just not sure that he takes enough responsibility when they're not winning.
But he can't because he's trying to say, look, he's put himself out there saying, if you get me these pieces, this is what we need. They're not doing it.
I'm sorry. I just struggle with that.
Yeah, well, no, but I believe that.
I know.
I mean, because he's a competitor. I think it's gotten down to the point with him where all this other stuff doesn't matter. He wants to win Super Bowls and be a world champion. He wants to scream, I'm going to Disney World. He wants to be that guy. I get it. He wants to be a winner.
Could he make a move and win a Super Bowl the next year?
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady did?
Yeah, he could.
Where does he have to go? Is that Denver?
I know this sounds crazy, but Tennessee or Dallas.
Oh, they'll screw it up in Dallas.
I don't disagree with that, but Ryan Tannehill is so good at managing the game, and being that kind of guy, right? You upgrade to somebody like Aaron Rodgers that can get the ball. There's 3 wideouts they got, plus Derrick Henry, plus the 2 backup running backs they got, and as good as they are at tight end. When they go to their 2 and 3 tight end set, they're as good as anybody in the league. And that's without running the football. That's a power formation, but, they can still throw. The matchup problems.
Yeah.
So, do I say the Steelers? I would – being a Steelers fan, I'd love for him to go to Pittsburgh.
Oh, please don't do that to me.
But I just don't. That'd be like Deshaun Watson going to play at Well, anyway. But I like those two teams if he were to go there to make it.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think Buffalo's going to have a huge hangover next year. I hope they don't because I enjoy.
I don't
watching
either.
them
I
play,
do too.
But
I love watching them play.
But I think they showed a lot of stuff this year, and they're going to a lot of grit and determination. A lot of great things they showed, but again, there's people will prepare for what they've seen, and you got to be able to do a little more. So I don't think Josh runs the ball as much next year, and I think he's more in the air, which is a good thing. But I think he's going to get flushed too.
They did a thing on what teams need. What's the missing piece for some teams inside the league? The Giants, this writer said, declined Daniel Jones' fifth-year option.
Yeah.
What's their option though for a quarterback?
They don't need to draft. They got to go get Russell Wilson or somebody like that to help rebuild that team from that. They can't take any more growing pains. Daniel Jones was put in just like Eli Manning. People can say, "Oh, Eli got on." Look, he was thrown to the wolves. All right, and so Daniel Jones, trained by Cutcliffe, who trains the Manning boys, everything was, stars were lining up. Giants screwed it up. 27 head coaches in 27. I mean, it's just awful. That's terrible.
Other places have some other issues. The Eagles need to have a long-term replacement at safety. The Commanders need a quarterback.
Is that the Washington team?
The Taters need. They've
They
got
one.
Fitzmagic.
Well, they had one. They traded Kirk Cousins away. People sit there and say, "Oh, he can't do this. He can't do that." Yet everywhere he goes, the guy's an all-pro.
Did he trade away before Ron got there?
Yeah, and they drafted. I think that's right. And they drafted Haskins, who's now with the Steelers. I mean, this is
Daniel
just
Snyder's son drafted Haskins.
This is just that's true.
Yeah.
But this is just insane. And now they talk about Wentz going to to get rid of Kirk Cousins and put Wentz in Minnesota. Dude, are you kidding me? Carson Wentz is a great guy. He and his wife do so many things for the communities that they're wherever they're living.
Right.
But come on, man.
Oh, I know.
You and I had this conversation about him and Foles. People are like, "Oh, Carson Wentz is the future." Foles was your MVP in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but he can't do – in Doug Peterson's offense, Nick Foles was the man. Carson Wentz was not. He's a great athlete. He can run. He's got a strong arm, but he doesn't take care of the football.
Yeah.
I can't say shut up.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Chicago Bears need an offensive line. I'm not totally sold on Justin Fields. I don't know that that's the only issue they have in Chicago.
Yeah, it's to be decided, I guess.
Yeah. Green Bay need to re-sign Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, if they don't, they're done.
Extend Kirk Cousins at the Vikings.
Please,
yep, I think they've got a fit there. I think they got a fit there.
Give the guy.
Atlanta needs to either commit toward competing or rebuilding. They need to rebuild.
They just need to rebuild.
They need to blow it up
and that's
rebuild.
okay.
Yeah.
Go in, but hire somebody to
and
come
listen
in
I want you to listen to
it.
this. In the NFC South, here's your quarterbacks: Taysom Hill, Sam Darnold, Kyle Trask, Matt Ryan. There's not a top-tier quarterback in that. Matt Ryan was in his day.
Oh, yeah,
but not
yeah.
now.
No, yeah, sure.
Not
yeah,
now.
Yeah, right.
Carolina Panthers get a new team. Oh, that's not what it says. It said get a left tackle. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let me know how that goes. Saints need to bring in a quarterback.
Saints, yeah, they got
Taysom
more
Hill,
issues than that.
He's a gimmick. He's help me /
Yeah, he's
Cordell Stewart.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The guy
Jameis
can do
Winston
anything.
is not the guy. The
Oh.
Bucks need to get Carson Wentz. There you go. There's your answer. Bruce may retire then. Rams need a left tackle. Rams need some offensive linemen. And the 49ers, it says, begin the Trey Lance era, which means Jimmy G will be finding a team. I made the suggestion to Josh Carney that Jimmy G would be a nice stopgap at the Steelers for a year or two.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Seattle Seahawks asked Pete Carroll to resign. Oh, no, that's not. It says fix the defense. Well,
are you kidding me?
That's what Pete Carroll's supposed to be.
That's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote this?
Well, wait a minute. They were 26th in pass defense.
I'm not saying you don't fit, but it's not that
There's more issues than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's that's awful superficial. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's more issues than that.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Hey, I've always said this.
What's Deion doing?
I've always said this. Opinions are like,
They are. Everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one. They're all different. So,
and you know what? That's okay. I'm just trying to figure out why. I just want to understand the thinking behind that, and then not to convince me that they're right or wrong. I don't quite understand the thinking in the whole. You know, the thing about Trey Lance, there's no doubt that he's a very good athlete, like Carson Wentz. He played, basically where Carson Wentz did. Played against the competition, shows a lot of promise. Are they going to be in the same place 5 years after going through 3 or 4 with Jimmy G and his progression now that he's getting there where he can, take care of things and run things and do this? Now they're going to wait another 4 or 5 years to get back to where they are? Or is that an upgrade by moving on?
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we'll just have to kind of wait and see where it's going to go. This is pretty interesting that Campbell,
Mike Minter.
Yeah, Mike's a great guy. We're trying to get him on a Monday night. Yeah.
He is phenomenal. A few years ago, we had I was working with another firm. We had a regional meeting in Asheville, and he came up to speak. He just gotten the job at Campbell a couple years in or whatever, or year in or whatever. And we're listening to him. It wasn't a motivational thing. It was just more talking about success and some of the attributes and tangibles, those kind of things. And just sharing his experiences. And we had a chance to talk to him for maybe 5 minutes. I mean, he's just a really nice fellow. Sat down, a great guy. And
very approachable.
That's what I like about him is he is very grateful and takes that approach every day. It seemed to me, okay?
He doesn't take for granted what he has.
No.
Yeah.
And he looks at every day as an opportunity
yes.
and a blessing instead of a have to. And that has a lot to do with why he is where he is and why Campbell – I was watching them in East Carolina play baseball a couple nights ago, and their baseball stadium is incredible.
Yeah.
Campbell Turf Field, the football stadium's amazing when you drive, down through that way, if you ever do go that way. But, yeah, Minter, what a great guy, man.
Campbell's the only thing I know that's further east than ECU.
Bowie's Creek, baby. Bowie's Creek. Yeah. You can't get there from here. It's
awesome. One more comment because I know you got to go.
Yeah, I got to roll.
Major League Baseball will begin canceling regular season games if they do not come to terms by Monday. Do we even have baseball this year?
You know what?
Major League Baseball?
You know what? Fix the junk the summer before. Have everything in place and stop saying, well, we're going to wait to – that's like – it's kind of like me going on a diet. Well, I'm going to wait for this, and then that's when I'm going to do it. Man, no. Start it now. Come on.
Now, here's one of the things that I guess bothers me, and I'll stop with this. The union wants – here's one of the sticking points. The union wants a minimum salary of $775,000.
Okay.
The league's offering $640,000. Okay.
So let's settle on 700 and move on.
Tell me somewhere else that you can go and make $640,000
and have everything paid for.
Starting out.
And have everything paid for. Nutrition, health care. Hey, but you know what? Okay, you know what? Settle on 700. All right, let's turn the page. What we got next? It's inflation. What we got next?
Well,
they have lost their ever-living mind. Let me tell you something. They better be – well, anyway.
And I heard that too. Mark says you're going for the Jim Tressel look today, except for the tie. You don't have the tie.
Thanks, Mark.
No, Minter's first head coaching job, Richie, was at Campbell, and he stayed at Campbell.
Right.
He wanted the job when they started the Charlotte 49ers football team.
Yeah, because it was it's at home.
Yeah, and they picked him up at Campbell, and he's done rather well.
We've had a couple of kids from Maiden in the area. I say a couple kids, one or two, and in the area go down and be a part of it. He obviously sets the standard really high. He's got really good coaches around him.
That's an academic place too.
And it is. And very good law school. Very good law school. Several local lawyers that attended Chapel Hill.
Like ECU is a very, very prominent party school.
Yeah, and medical school. I'd like to throw that out there too. But anyway.
Parties first.
Well, yeah, that's why I wasn't a doctor.
I know.
Just didn't.
I know.
The scheduling was just a little tough.
I know.
You could
It's
either
the little things.
do 3 a.m. labs.
It's the little things.
Or you could spend your time in another type of lab at 3. You have
Been
to
there,
decide
done
what you
that.
wanna do,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Richie makes a great suggestion, and I think they're already doing some of that. Is they're putting college games on TV in place of MLB.
Yeah, and they should, and it's better baseball.
I like college baseball much better than I do.
College softball
Major League.
I enjoy very much watching that. But I'm hopeful that ESPN Plus, whatever, will continue.
Well, they got to have programming, so that's what they'll do.
And now, don't forget, we've got football coming up too this year. So there's a little bit of. I heard this last night. Of course, I got to get out of here, but there may be a little bit of this going on to make behind the scenes to make the pro football starting in April a little more viewed, because there may not be Major League Baseball on. So there's a cause and effect for everything.
You better be careful. You better be careful.
But
You may do more damage than you think.
And as not a conspiracy theorist, but as people say that, does that stuff really go on in this world?
No. Everybody's up and up.
Everybody's just being ridiculous.
No,
Things like that don't happen.
everybody's
Who's
on the
being
up and
naive now?
up and up. Everything's up and up. See you tomorrow. I think the professor will be in here. Have a good day, guys.
He will be.